Hi everyone, it's KB from KB Sports Media, and I have a special guest with me.
Etienne Marcel, the Sports Inquirer. Happy to be here with KB.
Now I want to ask you, is your name French?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I studied a little French, so I was like, ooh, je m'appelle Lakeisha, that's my name. So we want to recap Georgia State's game tonight versus South Alabama. Now, this game was a thriller, and it came down to the last possession of the game. Now, what were your thoughts about the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Georgia State really disappointing. They put together maybe their best overall performance of the
Yes.
year. You saw Ted Hurst, 2 touchdown passes. Cameron Brown played the entire contest, actually held South Alabama scoreless in the third quarter and made that comeback attempt, and even were able to tie the score and had a lead for a little bit. So just very disappointing for the Panthers, who just cannot find a way to get a victory.
Yeah, and I'm
Overall.
glad you talked about Cameron Brown because, as I mentioned in the press conference, I have been asking Coach week after week who is going to be the permanent starting quarterback. And you see, he gave us an answer tonight, and he said it was obvious. And I said, well, Coach, I want you to tell me. It's obvious
Yeah.
to me, and it's obvious to us. So Cameron Brown is slated to be the starter for the rest of the season. And as you
Yeah.
stated, the most complete game that we've seen for the entire season. And what I was
Yeah.
really most impressed about was the rushing game.
Yeah.
There have been a number of games where we have not rushed for more than 100 yards. So to be able to have 200 yards tonight was really impressive for me tonight. Any other things that impressed you tonight with the game?
You know, it's interesting also where they were outgained in the first half, and they were down 28-14, and you would think that'd be the opportunity to throw the ball more, but they actually went to the rushing game,
Right.
and that actually led the comeback effort.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was the best ever. But going back to Cameron, you know, we saw. I was asking Coach about that too, and even going into the Georgia Southern game last week, it's like they've been playing the different quarterbacks and everything like
Absolutely.
that. And I asked, when is Cameron going to get a full game? And he got that last week. They lost also to Georgia Southern, but I think going through that experience, he saw the benefits of that this week. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I said Hurst had 2 touchdown catches. He was able to get some rushes as well. But as Coach mentioned, just you cannot give up so many points and be down so much through the
Yeah.
first 2 quarters. We saw in the second half much improvement, but yeah, as I said, just very disappointing that they were not able to. Uh, it's like the second half, offense was able to score. That's the third quarter, held them scoreless. But then in the fourth quarter, South Alabama go down multiple times and score. And that was
Yeah.
the difference in the contest.
It was the difference in the game. And at the end, the last possession, we had a chance to possibly tie the game or with a 2-point conversion, possibly win, but we saw how that went tonight. So we probably would have kicked the field goal for that.
Yeah,
We had a chance to do that, and Cameron threw an interception. But as we said, he played a wonderful game. So I don't think that there's anybody to blame for this. We had a really great combat. And what you talked about in that third quarter, we held South Alabama to -4 yards for that period. So you talked a lot about the third quarter and the second half, but I really wanted to just kind of put some numbers with that. -4, that's how great we were in the third quarter and came out. And as you stated, rushing. And I remember right down in my nose, ooh, they came out rushing because I swear, I feel like I've been beating them up every week about the rushing game and to come out. And as you said, not go to the passing game, which would have seemed more natural to do that, but to say, hey, we want to be patient and we want to be consistent and we want to have the rushing game. That is what really impressed me the most in this game. Any last minute thoughts?
Yeah, you know, just 2 things. Also, we've seen them have multiple games of double-digit penalties. I don't know what the final number was. You have the stats here, but I think it was less than 10. So less than double digits. So they actually played a pretty disciplined game.
Yes.
Which is a big factor. But then also, and I think you may have asked that or one of our colleagues about, now they have 7 losses on the season. So technically, they're not bowl eligible. There may be some potential with a 5-7 record with some other factors, but for all purposes, they're probably not going to be bowl eligible for another season, and they still have a few more games to play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And Coach has talked about wanting players wanting to be here. And we know the landscape of the transfer portal and NIL, and Coach did a very elaborate breakdown of that in week about how the program is handling that. But now with 7 losses, do players, coaches, hate to say coaches even,
Coaches as well.
are they looking towards their next destination, or how does Coach handle that? That's where Coach McGee. That's going to be a really big thing, but I think overall, best effort so far this season, but I just, unfortunately for them, we're not able to come through with the victory.
Absolutely. And that's just not big here at Georgia State. That's every school.
Yeah.
You know, when you know that you're going to have a losing season, when you know that the bowl game is not in the cards for you, a lot of teams face, now what do? Players have to dig deep, as Coach said. You have to want to win it for yourself. You have to want to win it for that logo or that name on your chest and your back. You have to want to do it for yourself. Now, when we talk about NIL, and even coaches, as you said, they now have an opportunity. There may be coaches that said, hey, you know what? And we've seen this in other programs as well. Like, they don't finish the season with their team, and all of a sudden they get a new position and they say, hey, I need to leave. We see that as well. So it's going to be a good test to see what kind of fight, what kind of heart does this team have as they go into the second part of the season, knowing there is no bowl eligibility for us. And this, you know, for the seniors, this is going to be it for them. I want to see the heart from them. I want to see what tests they have as well. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this post game to talk about Georgia State. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
I hope they'll be back.
Hopefully we'll be back. So again, everyone, thank you so much. I'm KB from KB Sports Media, and we are right here at the Center Parc Credit Union Stadium, where Georgia State had a very tough loss to South Alabama. See you soon.